Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Apex Racing TV. Welcome to iRacing Live. And welcome to wine country, basically, here in California, the Sonoma Raceway, for the next race meeting of the BSR MSA Kia Cup Series. Well, good evening, everybody. Adam Bath here. Joining me for this one this evening is Club 73 touring car driver Conrad Venter. Conrad, Sonoma then. Not often a track we see for Kia Racing, but yeah, 3 races should be good.
Yeah, I don't think it's a track that shows up all that much on official races either. But I mean, it looks like, just watching the cars go around, it looks like a brilliant track for the Kia and the forward wheel drive cars. And it should be an interesting meeting. The lap times out there at the moment are rapid, and we've got a couple of the usual front runners that's got some back of the grid penalties as well.
I've been watching your Club 73 exploits on the YouTube stream. Stuff in the VW Jetta. It looks like it's going well. You had a good race meeting at Summit Point last week.
Yeah, I've sort of been somewhere around the top, between top 5 and 10 each race, and it's playing the percentage game really, just to get to the end and not do anything silly and see where we end up at the end of the season.
I don't know how you put up with racing with all those Kias, especially when they all form in a huge queue behind you.
Well, you know what, watching series such as the Cup Series, like we're broadcasting tonight, it gives you a good idea of what the Kias are like and how they race, and once they start coming up to you, it gives you a good idea of how to deal with them as well.
Well, we're only through the championship standings heading into this race meeting. We're at the halfway point. We're on our way now. We're on our way home to the end of the season. Selin Chepelevsky has got an 88-point lead over Diogo Melro. 2 Discovery cars there at the top, and they did pretty well last week at Phillip Island in Australia. Ben Hackerson in 3rd with Stephen Baxter in 4th, Rob Plumley 5th, Adam Hadfield 6th, 7th Tristan Bodis, Lauritsen in 8th, Paul Smith in 9th, and Maciek Sakovic running up the top 10. The top 10 only separated by 433 points, and in the grand scheme of things, that's not too far away from each other. Stephen Minton leads the way in the AM Championship. Springay in 2nd, Jamie Ayres in 3rd, Jason Greenfield 4th, 5th is David Crozier, 6th Gareth Hickling, 7th Cesaro Rizzo, 8th Thorstein Helgason, 9th Steve Walker, and 10th is Gavin Wakefield. And in the team standings, well, it looks like a foregone conclusion, and we're only at the halfway stage of the season. Discovery leading the way, 826 points ahead of their nearest team, which is ProSim. And then it's a good 1,100 or so points back to Bermuda in 3rd. Great Britain Modeler in 4th, GBR, Radical Racing UK in 5th, Youth Energy 6th, Automax 7th, Team Mad 8th, and Engine Oil Director don't think registered as a team, they're just being shown on 0 points. Now, there's quite a few configurations you can run here at the Sonoma Raceway today, but we are using the Cup layout on this circuit, and pretty short, Conrad, just under 2 kilometres, 10 corners, pretty easy for these drivers to, I think, get the hang of.
Yeah, it's a funny layout there. Like I said, we've got multiple configurations for this track. I've got it down as about 2 miles, 3.2 kilometers, but still, it's 10 turns. And the funny thing about this track is you've got turn 1, 2, and 3. Then it jumps to 3A, and then to 4A, and then because they cut out the infield section, all of a sudden, going down the chute into the next corner, it becomes corner 7A. So we're going to have a field day with this tonight.
Yeah, back to American-style corner names. I've missed them. Well, I can't remember what track we were at the other day. Road Atlanta, that was it. Or something like that on Apex Racing TV, and we're having to cover corner names. I think it was Laguna Seca. Yeah, it was Laguna Seca in the Formula Renaults, and I had a field day there with the corner numbers. Yeah, 10 turns. Yeah, and I've just realised that it is 2 miles. Me getting stuck in a metric. I think. But yeah, qualifying underway. We haven't really talked about qualifying. It's a 15-minute session. Stuart McFadden, pole position at the moment, 1:14.8, the only driver inside the 1 minute 15 barrier. Then Diogo Melro in 2nd, second in the championship. Adam Delmont in 3rd, Thomas Gibson 4th, Nathan Davis 5th, with Chepelevsky, our championship leader, in 6th. 7th, Richard Gore, 8th, Adam Hadfield, 9th, Maciek Sakovic, and Tristan Bodis rounding out the top 10. Stuart McFadden, he seems to have clicked around this circuit, Conrad. Fastest in practice, and He seems to be getting the job done in qualifying as well, the young Scot.
Yeah, and he's got still some time to find from practice as well. He went 0.5 of a second quicker in practice, but it's really close between him and Melro at the moment. Only about 200 of a second in it, so pole position is still there for anybody to take.
Yeah, he is. Diogo Melro is just heading on his way towards the end of the chute section, which the NASCAR Cup Series use. I have been able to see from way back in the day when they first started coming here that the NASCAR Cup Series did use the full layouts with the carousel, which they no longer use. It's brilliant to watch, and a shame they don't really use the layout anymore. Diogo Melro just on his outlap at the moment, so he is looking like he is about to start his final run. Selin Chapelevski has put himself up into third place, so the championship leader has had a late resurgence in this session, a 1:49.85, and that only puts him just just over a tenth of a second away from Stuart McFadden's time, but still 0.4 of a second off his personal best set in practice.
It's also worth noting as well that Julian Janowski, one of his top 10 in practice, and usually one of the guys at the fighting end of the field, is excluded from qualifying, so he's going to start somewhere around the back. And there's a whole list of people: A.D. King, Alexander Loritzen, Blake Nick, Cesaro Rizzo, Gavin Wakefield, Ian Ross Scully, Lewis Bibby, Lyndon Swabby, and I think Helgeson, Walker and Janowski, they're all excluded from qualifying.
Yeah, you covered the World Series from time to time on Apex Racing TV, Conrad. Julian Janowski, a good driver in that championship. I think he came close, or may even have won a World Series championship in the past. Starting at the back of the grid, that shouldn't really faze him too much.
Yeah, we saw it multiple times from him in the World Series. He knows how to get his elbows out and how to make a fight of it. And there was more than once where he came from the back of the field to score really, really good by the end of the race.
Yeah, we'll see how he gets on there. Of course, a reverse grid in all the races. After this one, we've got race 2, we've got a reverse grid there, as well as race 3. And we could see as many as a full reverse grid, which will definitely keep us on our toes, especially around a circuit as short as this, one of the shortest really of the year. Selin Chapelevski looks like he's on a late surge now, just trying to see where Diogo Melro is. He's just on his way through the opening section, so we'll switch back to Selin Chapelevski, I think. He's just heading through this Time Twisty S's section, which is pretty easy to pick up an incident point on, Conrad, if you just put 2 wheels into that dusty, sandy stuff on the exit of the corner.
Yeah, it's very easy, and it's very easy to get wrong as well. It almost sometimes gives me the idea of the S's going through Suzuka as Chapelevski comes into the last corner running wide. Most certainly would have picked up an off track for that.
See what he does then, the Discovery driver, championship leader. Heading through the final corner now with just under a minute to go in the session. And across the line he goes and does a 14.826 pole position. Selin Chapelevski, and that is still 0.3 of a second slower than his personal best in practice. Could we see the time starting to tumble? Diogo Melro just heading through the final corner now. He was in second until Selin Chapelevski put that late lap in. What is he going to do here? He's still got time to do one more lap after this, but second in the championship, Diogo Melro comes across the line and does a 14.951. That is not enough for him to improve. And Stuart McFadden, Conrad, he's just on his way now down to the final corner.
Yeah, he's got about 20 seconds to negotiate that final corner to start a lap before the checkered flag comes out. So he might have one more go after this if he doesn't put in a pole position lap here.
See what he does then through the final corner, the flat out left hand kink, checkered flag out 16.246, and that is not enough for McFadden to move up any positions. And I don't know if he crossed the line before the checkered flag was out, Conrad. It was very close. We'll see if he's able to come around and do another lap. Let's see who else is going to finish then, because the checkered flag is out. Kip Stevens going for the final corner, currently 18th. Two-time champion in the BSR TC, of course, comes across the line and does doesn't do a time. It's invalidated. Must have picked up an off track somewhere. That's not going to be enough for Kip Stevens to improve.
Yeah, there's not many cars out there at the moment. Just having a look, Delmont is in the pits. Even Baxter might still be out there.
Thomas Gibson.
He's just coming to the pits.
Yeah, Thomas Gibson doesn't improve on his time. He's just come across the line and done a 15.3. His personal best of 15.1. Diogo Maurer back in the pits. Yeah, I think that is pretty much everyone completed their laps. And Jim McFadden's coming around again. I don't know whether he was able to. He must have been able to have started his next lap before the checker flag was out, just about. Could we see a late surge to pole position here? Stuart McFadden comes across the line and does a 16.2. I don't think he was able to cross the line to start his lap. He tried to have another go, but yeah, looks like the checker flag was already out, Conrad.
Yeah, I think he just missed that when he came across the line in the previous lap.
Okay, well that is the end of qualifying. Head down to the grid and we'll run you through your starting lineup for this opening race of the day, which will be 15 minutes. Selin Shepelevsky then starting on the pole position, the championship leader putting in a late lap, and it got him onto pole position. Stuart McFadden starting in second, Diogo Maurer in third, only about 300ths of a second behind him. Then it's Adam Delmont in fourth, fifth Thomas Gibson, sixth Nathan Davies, seventh Richard Gore, eighth Adam Hadfield, ninth Maciej Sakovic, and 10th is Tristan Bodis, 11th for Paul Smith, 12th for Ben Gregory, 13th for Adam McNally, 14th Stephen Baxter, 15th Peter Van Gool, 16th Stephen Minton, 17th Rob Plumley, 18th Kip Stevens, 19th Blake Neck, and 20th Dave Crozier, 21st for Jason Greenfield, 22nd Gareth Hickling, and then the cars that didn't set time in qualifying, and there are quite a few of them. Ben Hackerson, Alex Lauritsen, Julian Janowski, Cesare Rizzo, Steve Walker, Thorstein Helgerson, and Michael Barry rounding out the 29 car field. Quite a small grid in terms of Kia standards, Conrad. Only 29 cars here today.
Say only 29 cars. I think for most series 29 cars would be a very decent grid, but yeah, you're right. We're used to seeing huge grids for this series, but maybe the track's got something to do with not the most popular track on the iRacing service. To
be fair, it's Sonoma on the iRacing service, probably up there with one of my favourites. Don't often get to race around it enough. Well, Conrad, with the quickest drivers at the front in terms of qualifying, can you pick a winner out from that top five?
I think Stuart McFadden has got to be picked quickest in practice, narrowly missing out on pole position for race one. Yeah, I think I'm going to put my money on him there.
Looking forward to this. Yeah, Stuart McFadden's been quick all evening, just apart from qualifying where he missed out to Stalin Shepelevsky's late lap. He was only 400ths of a second away from Shepelevsky McFadden, and what is he going to bring to the table against the Discovery driver? Ready to go then for the opening race of the day here in the BSR Kia Cup Series. The revs begin to rise, the red lights are on, and we're underway here at Sonoma. Good start from Stalin Shepelevsky. He should be able to hold on to it through the first section of corners. Nathan Davis looks like he's flown up through the order. Now into this long left-hander, then you've got to move the car across into the right-hander for the first time. It looks pretty close going through the first few corners, side by side between Adam Delmont and Adam Hadfield. The two Adams going at it again. They're able to sort each other out just then. Hadfield getting ahead of Delmont, and then it's Gore, Bodis, Sakovic and Ben Gregory. A good start from him. He's already cracked the top 10. Now up the inside into turn 4A for the first time, and Bodis versus Gore, and he's lost out there, Conrad, and now he's looking under pressure from Maciej Sakovic going into turn 7A.
Yeah, they're trading positions there at the moment. A little bit further back, Stephen Minton got turned around as well by somebody, but yeah, they're all very cautious into turn 1.
It's almost like your NASCAR race that you have around the circuit later in the year. Everyone very conservative on the opening lap, and of course it's the opening lap of 3 races, so the drivers know that everything's to play for in this early stage and don't want to risk too much, as Ben Gregory has a little look at the inside of his teammate Maciej Sakovic going into the final corner. But a good clean lap by the guys inside the top 10. Across the line goes Stalin Shepelevsky, first lap in the books from him. McFadden second, Melrose third, fourth Davies, 5th Hadfield, 6th Delmont sliding his way through the left-hander. Then Gore 7th, 8th Tristan Bodis, 9th is Maciej Sakovic, who is all over the place. and he might have picked up a slowdown penalty for good measure, and I think he'll lose out to his teammate Ben Gregory as they head through turns 3 and 3A.
There was a huge accident at the back of the grid of the start line. Cesaro Rizzo, like I said, on the cold tyres coming up to turn 1, completely lost it, went towards the right. Who's that that he went into? Steve Walker. Went to Steve Walker. Steve Walker was completely out of the circle and ended up upside down.
Well, Steve Walker, who hadn't set a lap time in qualifying because of what I suspect penalties picked up from previous race meetings, and just to add to insult to injury, getting involved in a crash away from the line. So not what Steve Walker would have wanted at all, and he will most likely be lining up at the back of the grid for the second race of the day. Overtaking spots around this circuit, Conrad, we haven't really talked about it, but this cup layout, it being so short, whereabouts is the overtaking spots? Probably that last hairpin.
The last hairpin, that's about the only place I could see. If you're brave enough and you can hold your line properly, probably going into turn 2 is a good spot, but other than that, I think it's mostly just working your way up to the rear of the car in front of you and trying to set them up in one of those spots that we just spoke about.
Yeah, if we were running the full layouts, there is a good overtaking spot on that configuration where you can try and get a move done. But Nathan Davis trying to line up Diogo Melro. Davis started in 6th place on the grid, got a good start, got up to 4th by the end of the opening lap, and he's starting to put pressure on the Discovery car of Diogo Melro. Nathan Davis, Conrad, I think he's driven for Apex Racing he drives for Apex Racing, I should say, in a variety of series. He's starting to make a name for himself in quite a few series, Formula Renault and here in the Kia Cup.
Yeah, I think series like this, non-official iRacing series, is sort of a good breeding ground for giving guys the opportunity to take a little bit of extra risk and sort of groom your racecraft. They're doing really well with that.
I'm sure, racing in the BSR TC 2 years ago did Sebastian Vettel a world of good. Racing in the World Championship Grand Prix Series. I'm sure he's never going to see racing like that in that championship, but definitely gives you an idea of touring car racing. And we hope to see Sebastian Joe back racing some form of iRacing soon. And of course, we've got the World Championship Grand Prix Series to look forward to later in the year as Davies puts all 4 wheels off. That will be an incident point for him. We saw in the Mazda MX-5 series, in the Winter Series that we ran on Thursday, the amount of disqualifications we're getting. 15 incidents here, Conrad. Surely the drivers should be able to work within those limits.
Yeah, I think they should be okay. Even coming through turn 4A, which is the chute, they can run nice and wide there without putting up any off tracks. The rest of it's just really keeping your tires on the black stuff. And it's apart from turn 1 and 2, it's really not that difficult to track, so they should be well within the limits here.
Just as I said that Nathan Davis was looking under pressure from, was trying to put pressure on Diogo Melro, he's now under pressure from Adam Hadfield behind in the Radicals car, going through the final corner to start lap 5 of the race. Less than 10 minutes to go. And Sejin Shepelevsky has a 1 second lead over Stuart McFadden. He's lapping consistently quicker. And now Diogo Melro, Conrad, he looks like he's finally got his head down, starting to put in good laps. And last time around, he was 2 tenths of a second quicker than Stuart McFadden.
Yeah, like we mentioned before, it's not catching up with the car in front is not that big a problem. Might be passing them. He's going to have a little look.
Very close there, going into turn 7 and 7A. Or just turn 7A, I should say, for that matter. Now going through the S's, turns 8 and 8A. Now we're closing in under braking. McFadden starting to feel the heat a little bit, and I'm not just talking about the car. It's pretty hot here in Sonoma today, 81 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know what it is in Celsius, I'll get back to you on that one. But going through turn 10 and up to turn 11, is it close enough for Melro to have a go? Not just yet, but the Automech car definitely getting hounded now, and this is allowing Sejin Shepelevsky just to ease away a little bit in the front there.
How many times have we seen that from the Kias before, where a couple of the cars behind the leader just start getting into a little bit of a battle, and they can just drive away from it, and it takes the pressure off for the rest of the race.
I think, this series is definitely a clear example of highlighting how much time you can lose whilst battling, and the gap was 1 second the previous lap. Shane Chepelevsky managed to pull away a good 2 too long to go then. Through 8A and through turn 9. Final spot on the podium up for grabs for those guys. But first place definitely doesn't look up for grabs for Stuart McFadden, because Denny Chepelewski is just too far up the road. Into the final corner comes the championship leader, and he's going to add another win to his impressive tally this season. Through the final corner, checkered flag is out. Denny Chepelewski wins the opening race of the day. Stuart McFadden second, third Adam Hadfield, fourth Nathan Davis, and a top 5 finish for Richard Gore in the end. Delmont 6th, Bodis 7th, just ahead of Sakovic. Paul Smith 9th, and Ben Gregory rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, nothing too serious between Adam Hadfield and Davis there in the last corner. A little bit of contact as they fought for that podium spot, but everybody came around unscathed.
Yeah, Julian Janowski came across the line in 19th place in the end. Diogo Melro, where did he finish? He's still on his way to the end of the lap. He might have even took a visit to the pits on this lap. I'm not too sure. I don't have my timing on me, but yeah, he's so far behind. He's with his teammate Alex Lauritsen, who is a lap down. Those two Discovery cars going through the final corner. Tell you what, this might be a blessing in disguise for Diogo Conrad, because the reverse grid, it might just work in his favour here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I don't know if he picked up that much damage from that accident, but his laps 9 and 10 were invalidated. So I wonder if he got the meatball flag and had to make a trip to the pits in order to get that fixed. Otherwise, he was running the risk of getting disqualified. Yeah,
most certainly, because yeah, it doesn't explain why he finished a minute or so behind that invalidated lap for Diogo Melro. He ends up finishing, yeah, a minute behind the leaders. Stedin Chepelewski, though, Conrad, he does what he does best, a veteran of the Kia and yeah, championship leader. He's starting to etch closer and closer to this BSR Cup Series title.
Yeah, very good result for him. Obviously, he's like you mentioned at the start of the broadcast, he's a series leader, and yeah, that would have extended his lead even more, especially with Melro running into trouble.
Ready for the finishing order from the opening race here in the BSR Kia Cup Series at Sonoma Raceway. Stedin Chepelewski takes the win, 1.5 seconds ahead of Stuart McFadden in the end. Adam Hadfield finishing in third from 8th place on the grid. That is a good job there from Adam Hadfield. Brilliant job. Nathan Davis finishing in 4th, Richard 5th, 6th for Adam Delmont, Tristan Bodis finishing in 7th place, 8th for Maciek Sakovic, the first Club Series champion. Paul Smith finishing in 9th, the Club Series commentator, former Club Series commentator I should say, and then Ben Gregory finishing in 10th. Stephen Baxter finishing in 11th with Adam McNally in 12th, Rob Plumley 13th, Peter Van Gool 14th, Blake Neck in 15th place, 16th place from 23rd on the grid for Ben Hackison, so he did a good job from through the midfield. Thomas Gibson started 5th, dropped down to 17th place as the race went on, problems for him. Kip Stevens finishing in 18th place, 19th for Julian Janowski. Could have been 15th place or better if it wasn't for that off when the commentator Kurse managed to work his way into his car. Gareth Hickling finishing in 20th, Thorstein Helgersen in 21st place, 22nd Stephen Minton, 23rd Dave Crozier. There's Diogo Melro, second place in the championship, and with Stedin Chepelewski winning, that's not what he wanted. If my memory serves me correctly, he hadn't had the best few races at Phillip Island last week, so the bad luck seems to be coming his way. Diogo Melro. Alex Lauritsen finishing 1 lap down in 25th place. That will still mean he's eligible for the reverse grid. The same for Jason Greenfield, Steve Walker and Cesaro Rizzo, who finished in 25th, 6th, 7th and 8th respectively, and Michael Barry didn't take the start. Right then, reverse grid time. Let's get the Wheel of Fortune up and we'll find out who's going to be on pole position for the second race of the day, round 20 of the BSR Kia Cup Series. Sam Kuma will spin the wheel, and it is 18, pretty short reverse grid as far as reverse grids go, and that is Kip Stevens, the two-time BSR TC champions on pole. Thomas Gibson is going to be starting second, Ben Hackison third, Blake Neck fourth, and Peter Van Gool in fifth. Any driver catch your eye there, Conrad, inside the top 5?
Ben Hackison, he was our biggest climber in this race just gone. He climbed 7 places, so he'll be more than happy to start with not even that many cars in front of him.
You know that Kip Stevens will try and defend their lead though, so we're going to wait to see what's going to happen in race 2 with interest. Join us after the break then. Me, Conrad and Sam on the cameras. We're going to see what's going to happen in race 2, race 20 of the BSR Kia Cup Series. Join us in a moment.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Welcome back to Sonoma and welcome back to the BSR Kia Cup Series. Race 2 here is about to get underway in a few moments' time. Adam Bath here with Conrad Venter and Sam Kumo on the cameras. Conrad, as always, this reverse grid, even though it's not too big, 18 cars, it's still going to throw up a whole load of excitement.
Yeah, it's only 2/3 of the field, so there's going to be about 10 drivers behind the winners from race 1 that's going to be eager to follow them through the field. But yeah, we're just looking so far in this practice session. Hackerson is quickest. We've obviously got different weather settings for this. track temperatures up by about 6 or 7 degrees Celsius. So that's going to make the cars even a little bit more tricky to handle as they come through the first few corners on lap 1. We obviously saw a couple of guys making mistakes on the opening lap of the first race.
One of the biggest movers through the field was Stalin Chapalevsky. Do we reckon we can see the same from him again in... Julian Janowski, I should say. Do you think we can see the same from him again in this race? Because he's going to be starting, about 20th place for this one?
Yeah, I think he was a little bit unlucky to miss out on the reverse grid there, but like I said, he's going to have those likes of Chapalevsky, McFadden, and Hatfield in front of him. So it should be easier for him just to follow them through as they make their way through the traffic.
Right, then we're not too far away from getting the race underway. Of course, earlier today we had the European V8 Supercar Championship here on... In fact, I think it's still going on at the moment here on Apex Racing TV. Don't know how that's been and gone, but yeah, that's been a good race meeting. And tomorrow we'll have the Mazda MX-5 Cup and the IMSA Sports Car Series on Apex Racing TV. Few back of the grids as well to factor into the occasion as well. We've got A.D. King, Blake Knecht, Craig Evans, Ian Roskell, Jackie Losserman, Lewis Bibby, Stephen Minton and Thorstein Helgeson all starting at the back of the grid. And yeah, those guys are definitely going to have their work cut out, it looks like, Conrad.
Yeah, a couple of those drivers are missing from tonight. I haven't seen Lewis Bibby here, nor have I seen Jackie Lotterman or Ian Roskell. So, yeah, a few of them missing, but there's a couple of them. Blake Knecht, he's in here along with Stephen Minton, I think, and yeah, Thorsten Helgeson is in here. So what did you say? They all get pit starts.
Oh, not too long to go in the warm-up session, and then we'll be getting ourselves underway. Another 15-minute race here in the BSR MSA Kia Cup Series.
Just looking at that paint on Hackeson's car, and it's quite a unique paint, and it's quite difficult to pick up whether he's got damage on it or not because of the paint on the bonnet.
Yeah, it's like a new version of the Gulf livery that we see on in sports car racing sometimes. But yeah, the GBR team, good paint scheme, probably one of the best out there, I think. As we head down to the grid, pole position for Kip Stevens, second Thomas Gibson, third Ben Hackerson, fourth Blake Knecht, fifth Peter Van Gool, sixth Rob Plumley, seventh Adam McNally, eighth Stephen Baxter, ninth Ben Gregory, and 10th Paul Smith, 11th Maciek Zakovic, 12th Tristan Bodis, 13th for Adam Delmont, 4th Richard Gore, 15th for Nathan Davies, 16th Adam Hadfield, 17th Joe McFadden, 18th Stalin Chapalevsky, 19th Julian Janowski, and 20th Gareth Hickling, 21st Thorstein Helgeson, 22nd Stephen Minton, 23rd David Crozier, 24th Diogo Melro, 25th Alex Lauritsen, 26th Jason Greenfield, and 27th Steve Walker with Cesare Rizzo in 28th. That must mean we've lost one car since the move over to race 2. But still 28 Kia Optimas ready to go here. And yeah, as Conrad said before the break, I think it's going to be hard to see anyone other than Ben Hackerson taking the win. But I won't rule out Kip Stevens. Just in interest of fairness, I might put my money on him for this second race, so we'll see what happens. Here come the lights. I'm underway for the second race. Good start away from the line from Thomas Gibson, but Kip Stevens has enough to just hold on to the lead for now. Good start by the other Pro Sim driver, which is Rob Plumley, going through the long left-hander for the first time up to turn 2. Drivers are on it here, and Plumley up the inside of Van Gool, it looks like, going into turn 3A. And looks like they're all through relatively cleanly, Conrad, at the moment.
Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, I was skipping through the field as they went through turn 2, and no cars left the track. Everybody is still running, and they're continuing to do so. You've had the
and Plumley. It was Gibson, I think, we lost on this lap going into the hairpin. Oh, and more contacts. Who was that that's all over the place? That's Stephen Baxter. So I think he must have had a bit of contact with Rob Plumley. There seems to be a little bit, suspect a bit of damage on the front of Rob Plumley's car as Baxter and Gore now go at it through this first corner. It's hard to run side by side, but it looks like the Gore's done it up the inside, and he's through, and he's up into what is fourth place now.
This is fantastic to watch. It is. They better alert those mechanics in the garages. The panel beaters are going to be really busy after this race.
Davies and a Discovery car that surely must be Stalin Shepelevsky side by side into turn 4A. Cheppy getting a bit sideways there, and yeah. You can't see the pictures. We're going to have to describe them to you. They're heading through turn 7A at the moment. And Stalin Shepelevsky was side by side with the runner-up from race 1, Stuart McFadden. But he is through past McFadden. He's up inside probably the top 10 now, Conrad.
Yeah, and another big climber is Richard Gore, who started 14th place. He's up into 4th. He's the biggest climber of the race so far. It's a really good race for him as well. And it looks like he's got a bit of clean air in front of him as well. Even more crashing going on somewhere in the background.
Oh yeah, it looks like one of the Pro Sim cars has gone off going into turn 11, the hairpin at the end of the lap. It was Yulian Janovsky. He's got a bit of damage to the front of his car, but it looks like he's got going again. I don't know what position he's going to be in as he comes across the line. He's side by side Van Hadfield, 14th place. 11th place, I should say, sorry, for Yulian Janovsky. Whoa, Hadfield drifting! Oh,
Norris just behind them as well. I'm sure he's going to wait for something to happen there. I don't think Hadfield's given up on that position just yet. He's going to have to now. His nose being cut off as they go into turn 3 and 3A.
And yeah, a bit of damage to the front and left of Adam Hadfield's car. They're just heading through turn 4A now, and it's 3 wide between Stevens, Gregory, and the number one. Who is it? Stalin Shepelevsky. It's all kicking off here. Kip Stevens holding on, going through turn 8. Did say before the start of the race that Kip Stevens will be a tough customer to get past. Oh no! And that is Gregory touched. God knows how that didn't break the front left of his Kia Optima. And it's all bunching up here now. As around the outside goes Yulian Janovsky. Stalin Shepelevsky being able to pull the move off. And Ben Gregory. Oh, he's hit it. And
somebody's going into the pits. Somebody was forced into the pits. That is actually. Oh no, that's gone wrong.
And Ben Gregory in the tyre barrier. I didn't realise that they were solid barriers. I just thought that they were there for show. But there you go. If you do hit them, it does hurt. And yeah, Ben Gregory, just to confirm what's been a pretty poor lap. Yeah, he's now tumbling down the order. And who was that went into the pits? It must have been...
That's Janovsky.
Janovsky, yeah.
He bailed out like a professional in that one. Narrowly missed the tyre barrier and escaped into the pits. So he's going to lose a few places there. But unfortunately, like you said, who was that hit the tyres really hard as well? They're not going to go any further in this race.
It's all kicked off here in the second race, and not what the Pro Sim driver of Yulian Janovsky would have wanted. We were talking about him again at the beginning of the race 2 show. Getting interesting in the battle for the lead, actually, between Ben Hackison and Paul Smith. Paul Smith, who has had tuition, of course, off the one and only Ash Sutton when he's been driving for the CQR team in various other BSR leagues that we run, most notably the Pro Series last season. And I might have just learned how to manage the tyres, Conrad, because in the closing stages of this race, how long we've got? We've only just gone halfway through. There's been that much action. He's starting to close in just a little bit on Ben Hackison.
Yeah, Hackison just not quite on the same pace. Well, Paul Smith not on the same pace as Hackison on that last lap. Hackison managed to pull about 0.3 of a second out of him. Oh, well, there goes Paul Smith. He's off. He already had damage on the front end. Clipped the curb and just ran wide a little bit. That's proper commentator's curse tonight, isn't it?
Sorry, Paul. Well, I'm sure that you've done the same to many drivers in the past. So yeah, that is Paul Smith now behind Richard Gore. So that's him down to 4th place, Paul Smith. And that's made things relatively easy for Ben Hackison now. Plumley up into 2nd place. I'm sure he'll have a lot on his stream for you guys to look back on later on. And yeah, the top 10 is now consisting of Hackison leading, Plumley 2nd, Richard Gore 3rd, 4th Paul Smith, 5th Sakovic, 6th Baxter. Then it's McFadden in 7th, Diogo Melo 8th, Then Stanislav Chapelevsky 9th, who's dropped down a bit actually. He was ahead of McFadden a few laps ago. Running up the top 10 is Adam Delmont.
Yeah, Melrose, he's got a bit of an opportunity here as well. He's running in 8th place now. He's up 16 places from where he started in 24th. And yeah, might be able to claw a few points back from that he lost in race 1.
Close battle between McFadden and Baxter. It looks like McFadden got by just in the hairpin. The end of the last lap goes a bit wide into turn 2 though. This might give Stephen Baxter the opportunity he needs to get that place back to 6th position. Now into turn 3 and 3A. Then to turn 4, and they've lost a bit of ground to Maciek Sakovic, the Club Series driver, starting to pull away a little bit in front of these guys. And that top 10 battle's settled down. Oof, Alex Lauritsen looking ragged in his pursuit of Adam Delmont and a spot inside the top 10. They're just going into turn 7 and 7A now. And Discovery, they always seem to have at least one car inside the top 10 here, Conrad. And at the moment, they've got Chapelevsky and Melro both in 8th and 9th.
Another little thing to keep an eye on is our leader Benjamin Hackison is catching up with some back markers. And it's not so much to keep an eye on because they just let him straight through. And now they're Robert Plumley's problem.
Yeah, and this is where the track's particularly narrow, so this is going to be interesting. The two teammates as well, the back markers, Dave Crozier and Ben Gregory. They're both in 26th and 27th place, and they're probably in the same TeamSpeak server together, so they probably know what's going on and can coordinate this relatively well. I'm sure Rob Plumley's doing the Sebastian Vettel Blue Flag song at the moment to try and get by. Oh, locks up! Nearly hits the tyre barrier on the exit there, and shows that even though he's still quite a bit of a way behind Ben Hackison, he's still trying his best to hold on to this 2nd place. Especially because Richard Gore's closing him down, Conrad. You were 6/10 of a second quicker on that last lap.
Yeah, Richard is a really competent driver in this kit. He's been doing it since that first Pro Series, I think. Was it BSR TC? There's also, yeah, he's come a long way, and yeah, especially with the traffic, like I say, might be in for a little battle towards the end here. It's well worth pointing out as well with Gregory and Crozier running here that it is worth for them to stay on the track and finish the race, because it's gonna, you know, a full reverse grid for race 2 or for race 3 rather, and they're gonna be right in front.
Yeah, of course. So we had an 18 reverse for this race 2. So we might have they might have a better chance of getting a full reverse grid, or a bigger reverse grid for that matter, for the 3rd and final race of the day. So it's all the worth staying out, especially if you still stay a lap down, because if you finish a lap down, you're still classified and your name is still in the hats and for the on the wheel, I should say, for the draw for race 3. Sakovic versus McFadden then. This battle looks like it's been reignited the last few laps as McFadden backs the car into turn 4A. And he's got also Diogo Melro to worry about as well. Into turn 7A. And yeah, very close as Melro rides the curbs.
Yeah, I think turn 7A is the correct terminology for that particular corner. Richard Gore also closing up very quickly to on the back of Robert Plumley as well.
So it's two intriguing battles then inside the top 10 here. Into the hairpin. Melro last time around 16.4, 16.1 for Plumley, so he's able to recover. It'll be interesting to see what the lap times are like this time, as Melro looks at the inside of McFadden going into the hairpin. And these two are going to be side by side on the exit, plus they've got the lap traffic to worry about as well, so this could be pretty interesting. How long have we gone in the race? We've not got too many laps to go. In fact, I think this might be the penultimate lap as we go into turn 1. Melro versus McFadden. McFadden holding on for now. You can see that Sakovic has just pulled away slightly in front of these guys. And just to update you on that battle for second, 16.8 for Rob Plumley. And Richard Gore was slightly quicker on that lap, a 16.4 for him, 16.8 for Plumley, of course. And car 6.66. And Richard Gore having a look at the inside into turn 7 and 7A.
Yeah, I don't think he realistically is expected to make a place there. Just a little show, just let the guy in front of you know that you are there. And I certainly will have Plumley looking in his rearview mirror a lot more.
Getting close to crunch time then here in the second race of the day here in the BSR Kia Cup Series. Adam Raffer, Conrad Venter and Sam Kuma on the cameras. Apologies for the technical issues we've had with the broadcast today, but we're showing you pictures now. And McFadden going for it into the final corner, up the inside of Sakovic. Alapago, he was having to defend from Melrose, now he's trying to take the place. This is over 5th and 6th place. Going through turn 12, the final corner on the circuit to start what should be the final lap of the race. And Sakovic doing his best to hold on, don't rule out Melrose either, going into turn 1 and turn 2. No way through for any of these guys yet, and McFadden gets a good run out of turn 2. I think realistically he's got 2 overtaking spots on the circuit, Conrad, to get this done.
Yeah, depending on the one they get out of this corner, might have a little look here, even going down the chute into turn 5 for us today. No, he's just having a little...
Oh,
he's going for it. Yeah, he's going to overshoot the corner. Surely.
Oh,
Well, he's made a stick. Well done, sir. Well done.
there you go. Oh,
it's gone wrong. Melrose driving straight through.
Oh dear. And that's the end for poor Stuart McFadden, and I think Sakovic should be able to carry on rather sheepishly. But Ben Hackerson, he's on his way now to the final corner, and what a race it's been for him. Started 3rd, and Sam Kumo, not Sam Kumo, sorry, I'll give you credit, Sam, but Conrad, he predicted he would do well in this race, and he has done so. He takes the win in the second race of the day here at Sonoma Raceway. Second place should be Rob Plumley, across line is second place for him. Richard Gore 3rd, Paul Smith 4th, and it's going to be 5th place for Diogo Melrose. Who's going to get 6th? It is Stephen Baxter with Chepelevsky 7th, Delmont 8th, 9th Alex Lauritsen, and Maciek Sakovic comes home to take a 10th place finish, but I'm sure that the results of that battle between him and McFadden surely will be protested after this race meeting, because we've spoken at many lengths during the broadcast, Conrad, that side by side through particular parts of the circuit, in particular turns 8 and 8A, doesn't really work.
I'm just looking back at that particular accident. As they came out of turn 4A, Sakovic did have a substantial part of his car next to McFadden, and I think he'll argue the case that he was squeezed a little bit. I don't think he's got a whole lot to answer for there. But we'll see. Of course, the big benefactor there was Diogo Melrose, who managed to finish that race in 5th, and that was a gain of 19 places around the track in that 15 minutes. And it'll be interesting to know how much of that was gained through legitimate overtakes and how much was gained through other people's mistakes.
Yeah, and it was at the beginning of the race where we saw such carnage unfolding. Drivers trying to muscle their way through the order. They know how difficult it is to get overtakes done around the circuit, and they were definitely using the chrome horn, you could say, to get those positions gained. Only for the finishing order then from the second race here. Ben Hackerson takes the win, Rob Plumley finishing in second place, Richard Gore on the podium, 14th to 3rd. Definitely seems to have got the hang of this circuit. Paul Smith finishing 4th, Diogo Melrose 24th to 5th. That's a very good job from him, considering he missed out on the reverse grid for race 2. Reverse grid? What reverse grid? I'm sure he's saying. Stephen Baxter finishing 6th. Sejin Chepelevsky, our race 1 winner, finishing in 7th place. Adam Delmont 8th, 9th Alex Lauritsen, and 10th for Maciek Sakovic. Adam Hadfield finishing in 11th place. 12th for Gareth Hickling, 13th Kip Stevens, 14th place for Thomas Gibson, 15th Blake Neck, 16th Peter Van Gool, 17th for Adam McNally, 18th Jason Greenfield, 19th Steve Walker, and 20th Stephen Minton. Incidentally, stat for you, cars that started inside the top 10 finished there, only 4. Which is quite something this circuit anyway. 21st place for Cesare Rizzo, 22nd Julian Janowski, 23rd for Thorstein Helgersen, and then 24th place for Tristan Bodis. 1 lap down Stuart McFadden, so don't worry Stuart, it might still get a whole lot better for you. You might get reversed onto reverse grid pole. 26th for Dave Crozier, Ben Gregory, those two, we saw them earlier. They carried on around the circuit, just running their own pace, because they know that reverse grid is coming up. And Nathan Davis, yeah, he was gone pretty much from the start. He finished 9 laps down in 28th place. Right then, reverse grid time for the final time tonight. Who is going to get that coveted reverse grid pole? Let's send it over to San Kumo, Kumo, I should say, who will get the reverse grid wheel up on the screen. And yeah, we'll find out who's going to get this reverse grid pole. 21. Well, sorry, Crozier and Gregory, it hasn't worked for you, and neither has it worked for Stuart McFadden, because reverse grid pole goes to Cesaro Rizzo. He's on pole position. Second, Stephen Minton. Third is going to be Steve Walker, Jason Greenfield fourth, and Adam McNally fifth. That is a pretty open top 5. I think any of those guys could win, Conrad.
Yeah, well, you know who's going to feel very hard done by is Mr. Janowski. He missed out on the reverse grid pole by 1 or 2 places. Well, 1 place in race after race 1, and he's done so again for coming into race 3. He's starting in 22nd.
Well, 1 race to go then here in the BSR Kia Cup Series, and you don't want to miss it. The 3rd race of the day is going to be coming up after the break. Was it the same thing again? Oh, okay, was that like for a wheel or for
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Welcome back to Apex Racing TV and iRacing Live. We're getting set for the final race of the day here in the BSR Kia Cup Series. Adam Bath here again with Conrad Venter and Sam Kumo on the cameras. Conrad, second race was completely the opposite of race one. Everyone just forcing their way forward, quite literally.
Yeah, we discussed it at length during the broadcast tonight at how difficult it's going to be for people to overtake. So if it's not going to happen by itself, you make it happen. seems to be the attitude for the evening. But yeah, race 3 is going to line up to be pretty much the same. So I think we can look forward to it all kicking off at some point or another.
Yeah, we've got slightly bigger reverse grid for this final race of the day. The draw is on us 21 cars reversed, and yeah, we were just talking about before the break. Julian Janowski would be heartbroken. He finished in 22nd place, and that would have been his golden opportunity to have been reversed onto pole position. But no, it is the turn of oh no, I've forgotten. I think it's Stephen Minton that's got reversed onto pole position, but we'll double check that when the grid starts to be formed up. But yeah, we couldn't really pick a winner outside the top 5, so maybe we might see someone from as far back as outside the top 5 having a chance to win this final race, Conrad.
Yeah, well, Diego Melrose showed that it's not beyond the realms of possibility. He climbed 19 places in race 2, and there was somebody, I think it's Helgeson, that made up a good chunk of places. No, sorry, it was Alexander Lauritsen that made up, I think, 16 places as well, coming all the way from the back. So yeah, even somewhere in the beyond 15th place, it's not impossible. We've just got about a minute and a half left of practice. We're running, looks like afternoon track conditions here. Again, the track temperature is down from race 2. It's 27 degrees Celsius. So we can expect lap time to be slightly quicker. A little bit more grip for them out there once they get the tires up to pressure.
Not too long to go then. Conrad, tomorrow the Club 73 touring cars, they're going to Brands Hatch. Had much time in the car in the VW Jetta this week to have a go around the circuit?
Yeah, I've done a few laps, did a lap guide for some of the guys down in the group as well. We were lucky enough to have our pre-season test around Brands Hatch, so it's not a track that's foreign for this particular series. Everybody should be well rehearsed in what's going to go down or what's about to happen in that race. It should be good, yeah, really good fun.
And you should be able to watch that at 8:30 tomorrow on Apex Racing TV and iRacing Live. At the same time will be the BSR Mazda MX-5 Championship. Unfortunately, I won't be there for that one. We're trying to find some cover for that, but that should still be a good one. The championship is heading pretty quickly on its way towards the final race meeting of the season. I'm just going to quickly get the calendar up for you guys now so I can see where we're going tomorrow. And the championship is heading to Suzuka East, and that's definitely going to be one. It's a shame I'm going to miss out on that one because it's been a round that I've been looking forward to for most of the season. But now we're going to shift matters towards today. Cesario Rizzo starting on pole position, Stephen Minton starting in second, third Steve Walker, fourth Jason Greenfield, fifth Adam McNally, sixth Peter Van Gool, seventh Blake Neck, eighth Thomas Gibson, ninth Kip Stevens, and 10th is Gareth Hickling, 11th is Adam Hadfield, 12th Maciek Sekovic, 13th Alex Lauritsen, 4th Adam Delmont, Stelian Shepelevsky starting in 15th, 16th Stephen Baxter, 17th Diogo Melro, 18th Paul Smith, 19th Richard Gore, 20th Rob Plumley, 21st is Ben Hackerson, 22nd Julian Janowski, 23rd Thorstein Helgeson, 24th Tristan Bodis, 25th Stuart McFadden, 26th Dave Crozier, 27th Ben Gregory, 28th Nathan Davies. He is definitely going to be one to watch and to work his way through the field. Here we go then. For the final time tonight. Underway at Sonoma. Good start away from the line by Rizzo. Second place is going to be taken by Steve Walker because I don't think Stephen Minton's actually taken to the grid. Going through turn one, then it's McNally versus Luke Van Gool and Jason Greenfield also in the mixes there as well. Going through turn two, side by side between the two Prosim cars, Kip Stevens and Gareth Hickling. going into turn 3 and turn 3A. Sideways, a Discovery car. It's Alex Lorison. He cannot save it. Bang! Into the side of Delmont. Delmont still trying to save the car. And just a huge traffic jam, Conrad.
Oh, it's still going on. Cars everywhere. Oh, I think they got away with just 2 cars picking up damage.
Oh, and it's another one. And there goes another Discovery car. It's Stelian Shepelevsky, our championship leader. Huge ramifications possibly for that contact. And Tristan Bottas is in the middle of the road as well. It just doesn't seem to be going his way at all tonight. And in the space of a lap, 2 Discovery cars, Diogo Melro and Stelian Shepelevsky, the 2 at the top of the championship. The cars are in tatters, and another car's off, Adam Hadfield.
Yeah, it's really not going well for a couple of these guys that we normally used to seeing at the front. McFadden, he finished 2nd place in race 1. Shepelevsky 1st in race 1. And someone's off again just before the last corner. That is Helgeson. He's in the wall and he has reset himself back to the pits.
And Cesare Rizzo's dropped down the order. He's down to... He's dropped down to 10th place, so when it just looked all rosy for our pole sitter, something must have happened to him. Oh dear me, he went off in turn 8.
Yeah, he's sat in turn 2. It looks
he's
like
off again. Oh dear. Well, it's well there you go, Discovery. We've had the race from hell here, and Steve Walker leading the way. Vidar van Gool 2nd, Gibson 3rd, Blake Neck 4th. Nally 5th, 6th Kip Stevens, Maciek Sakovic is there in 8th, 9th Gareth Hickling in 10th. Well, it was Jason Greenfield, the man in 2nd place. He's had all sorts of issues, Conrad, and I've just had a look at what happened on the replay. He's going through turn 4A. Finally, we see a car hit that tyre barrier on the exit. You have the runoff area, and he just wasn't able to rejoin the track in time.
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't seen that much more tonight. Peter van Gool having a little look up the inside into the last corner for 2nd place. He's going to get a better run than... who's that in front of him? Oh, Steve... No, he's into 2nd place now, isn't he?
Yeah, it is, because Greenfield's out. So Peter van Gool into 2nd place now. Thomas Gibson into 3rd. Jason Greenfield, that broken left front corner after hitting the tyre barrier. Off is Maciek Sakovic. He was in 6th place. Looks like Kip Stevens is going to take that away from him going into turn 3 and turn 3A. And Maciek Sakovic, first Club Series champion, down a position there, now in between 2 of the ProSim cars.
Well, we've had a major shake-up so far in the first 3.5 minutes of this race. Melrose seems to have run into a little bit of trouble as well. He's dropped 3 places from where he started. But a lot of big climbers out there. Stephen McFadden up 16 places. Janowski up 12. Hackison up 10. Crozier up 14. So is Benjamin Gregory. He's up 14 places as well. There's a whole group of them that looks like they just managed to drive through all the carnage.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they all followed each other through. Yeah, McFadden, Janowski, Hackison, Crozier and Gregory all started outside the top 20. 25th, 22nd, 21st, 26th and 27th. Respectively, and now they find themselves inside the top 15. We're only completing the 3rd lap of the race. Close between Adam McNally and Blake Neck. 15.7 for McNally, and just in front of those guys, Thomas Gibson is really giving Peter van Gool a rough time here. Van Gool trying to hold on to a 2nd place as Steve Walker escapes up the road. Gibson in 3rd place, going through turn 3A, and Blake Neck doing his best to try and keep Adam McNally at bay here. Oh, run a bit wide there. They use all the curb on the exit, and you can just see behind those guys, Sakovic is giving Kip Stevens a bit of food for thought as well, because he wants that position back. Of course, Kip Stevens was able to get that position when Sakovic made an error a lap ago. And it's a 2-time BSR TC champion versus the first Club Series champion.
It looks like Sakovic is getting a good run as they come through the S's. You're going to have a little look up the inside into the final corner. It looks like Kip hasn't really gone wide. Sakovic just got a very good run through those corners. Sakovic thinking better of it though.
Well, here comes Stuart McFadden up the inside of his teammate, Gareth Hickling, and he might have his chance to get past both of these guys here. 2x2 on the exit, and they slot into position now. McFadden getting past Hickling and is now into 8th position. Whoa! Sakovic. Nice drift there. A few points should be awarded for that.
I cannot describe to you how well you should know. You've driven some of these races, how difficult it is to try and overtake someone in front of you, and while you're doing that you've got 2 or 3 guys behind you trying to do the same thing. You don't know whether you should be attacking or defending. A little bit of contact there between Sakovic and who's that behind him, Stephen McFadden.
Oh, he's a man on a mission, isn't he? And yeah, I can tell you what, it isn't half stressful, but it's also quite thrilling at the same time. I don't think I have as much fun on iRacing if competing in these series. It's absolutely brilliant, and it looks great fun at the moment for these guys. They've been able to steer clear of all the wrecks, and at the moment they're doing a good job here up inside the top 10, especially McFadden after starting so far down after that late contact in race 3. Was it the contact between these two actually, Conrad, Sakovic and McFadden in race 2 that?
Yeah, I think that's what ultimately decided the podium. They took each other out on the last lap, so yeah, they're at it again.
Yeah, no love lost between these guys. I don't know if McFadden will be the kind of driver that will stick it to him. But yeah, McFadden, oh dear me, what's Sakovic doing? A very unconventional line there for turn 2. This is going to open him up to attack from Stuart McFadden going into turn 3. I can tell you that we're about halfway through the race. We've got about 7 minutes or so left on the clock. And Sakovic trying his best to get past Stuart McFadden trying his best to get past Sakovic here, who in turn is trying to get past the Pro Sim car of Kip Stevens to get himself into the top 6. Just in front of these guys, it's all closing up between Peter Van Gool, who's in 3rd place, because Gibson, actually we've got a battle for the lead on our hands, because Steve Walker's been reeled in by Thomas Gibson. Gibson 2 seconds quicker on that last lap. He's reeled him in at a huge rate of knots going into the penultimate corner.
Yeah, I think Walker must have made a mistake somewhere. He's well off his fastest lap time. And yeah, that gap was well over 2 seconds as well, about a lap ago. Oh, a little bit of contact there. And Walker's having some technical issues of his own, something we're not completely...
Yeah, Blake Neck and Adam McNally were also exchanging insurance information, I think, going through the final corner there, or something similar to that, because they were all sorts of messed up there. They've been able to sort it out, but they have lost a few positions. But we're now focusing on this battle for the lead then. 7 minutes or 8 minutes into the race, not too long to go. Steve Walker, he's got back to some sort of pace, 16.3 on that final lap, and that was pretty much the same as Thomas Gibson. As it's all kicking off for 3rd place. Van Gool versus Neck, and oh dear. And somehow that ends up sort of all right, as up the inside of McNally goes Stuart McFadden. He's arrived on the scene, and he's already through and up into probably 6th place, as just in front of him Sakovic, he's now trying to get past Blake Neck going through. This is where he made contact with McFadden in the last race, and this time though he's able to do it, he's able to race with him cleanly.
I think Nick just giving Sakovic a little bit more space on in that corner, and they're both getting through cleanly. Oh, Nick just getting a little bit unstable as it comes through the what is that, turn 11.
Oh, change for the lead almost, as here comes Gibson. Gibson side by side with Walker going through the final corner. It's going to be a drag race to the line. Who's going to lead this lap? It is, oh, that is inseparable at the line. It was Steve Walker by 0.05 of a second going through the long turn 1 then, and it looks like that Thomas Gibson has taken the lead away from Steve Walker. 3rd is Van Gool, 4th is Kip Stevens, Sakovic 5th. Side by side for 6th between McFadden and Neck. Neck's going to have the inside line for turn 3 though, Conrad.
Yeah, and there's more battles down the line. McNally and Heckling. Oh, well.
And there you go. That's the end of Neck and McFadden. Oh dear. It seems that McFadden always seems to go off whenever he's running side by side with someone, which is a bit unfortunate. I wouldn't say that was his fault, that one. Just behind him you can see Ben Gregory and Richard Gore. They're having a nice battle here. Got the inside into turn 7 and 7A. It looks like Gore's taking the place. Gregory's not going to give up. Please don't go side by side for this corner, guys. And they don't. Thanks for listening. And Richard Gore through into what I think is 12th place.
It is 12th place indeed. We've just got all these. The field's pretty scattered as we look down, but there are these isolated little fights going on all over the place. Looks like there's another one going on to the final corner. Just a note: Sakovic made up a place on that last lap. He's up into 5th place now. He managed to get past. I think it was Hickling
Yeah, and it was also helped by the demise of by Stuart McFadden, as he now tries to, as Sakovic now tries to apply the pressure onto Kip Stevens. These two have been together pretty much the whole race. Van Gool escaping up the road, as is Thomas Gibson. So all eyes on this battle for the final spot on the podium, as Peter Van Gool makes a right mess of turn 3A and will allow Kip Stevens and Sakovic to get into the picture a little bit now.
Oh, you can see Thomas Gibson's pushing really hard to try and get a gap to Walker and Van Gool. Nearly making contact with that tyre barrier as they came through turn 4A on the exit.
In a few cars, I think when we saw Jason Greenfield do that in on lap 1 of the race, maybe even lap 2, and that put him out of second position as Sakovic puts 2 wheels into the dust on the exit. Very dusty this track offline. And who's that? Oops, forcing himself into the equation. Ben Hackison, he's right with Adam McNally going through the final corner. The penultimate corner, I should say, into turn 11. Up the inside goes the Brit modeler car. And he might have his opportunity here. Who's that in front of him? It's Gareth Hickling, who hits the wall on the exit of the final corner. Now he's going to go up the inside.
Here we go.
Ooh. Into turn 1 then. Through the long right-hander. Ben Hackison versus McNally versus Hickling. And Hickling looks like he's going to hold on for now. McNally's going to try back around the outside of turn 2. And this will give him the inside line for turn 3. He's still in there. Now we saw this happen between McFadden and Neck earlier, and it didn't end well. Through turn 3 and 3A. Hackison back up the inside. He doesn't give enough room. Nearly a quarter panel, Conrad.
I think they heard me. And yeah, Hackison thinking better of going back on the racing line, then moving back over.
Oh, and Janowski's also in the mix. The man who just missed out on the reverse grid pole. He's now cracked the top 10. He's got past Blake Neck. Now he's trying to get past Adam McNally. Sakovic continuing his assault on Kip Stevens going into the penultimate corner. So many battles to watch here in a brilliant final race of the day. Not too many laps to go. I think we're going to be starting the penultimate lap when we get to the line.
McNally making a mistake as he was coming through the S's. He's got Janowski through on him. And Blake Neck is having a little look as well, trying to recover some places after his off.
And yeah, McFadden also in the mix as well. He of course collided with Blake Neck in turn 3A earlier on. Always going to look at the inside of Blake Neck going into turn 1. But no way through just yet. He might try and get a cut back through turn 2. McNally all sorts of all over the place on the exit. That's going to be a few easy positions for those guys. And it looks like McNally's got a problem with the car. Ground to a halt. Don't know if he's sustained some damage or something.
And Richard Gore has just joined the party just behind them as well. They can't seem to catch a break here. Every time somebody overtakes somebody else comes and joins up with them. Wow.
Walker v Van Gool for second place. Oh dear me, this is exciting through turn 8. And now into 8A and 9. 2x2, 2 wide, 2 deep. Oh no, Sakovic forced all over the place. That'll be surely a guaranteed slowdown for him in his attempts to get past Stevens. Well, of course it was. It doesn't look like it stops him at all. And there's still 2 wide going into the final corner. Oh, dear me. Walker and Sakovic taking their own line. I don't think that's worked at all for those guys. And yeah, it's pretty much as you were. If anything, Kip Stevens seems to be the big gainer out of all that, because Steve Walker, who was in second, is now down to 4th place.
Yeah, and look at the gap Thomas Gibson has pulled from them through all of that. The gap to the leader now is 5 seconds as Sakovic gives Steve Walker a little helping hand through turn 2.
Well, they were lapping 2 seconds lap slower than Thomas Gibson on that last lap. 1:17 for all these guys, 1:18 for Sakovic, and a 1:15 for our race leader Thomas Gibson, who hasn't really got a care in the world as he starts his final lap at the race. Final opportunity in this battle for the podium then, and the battle for second place as well. So much up for grabs here in the final half a lap. Can Kip Stevens take second place back? The pole sitter in race 2 started 9th here. He wants to take that second place and get something from this race event. Peter Van Gool going through turn 8.
Hackison is coming as well. So if anything kicks off with this lot, he's going to be right in there. How much money do you want to bet that Hackison's going to score a podium here?
Oh, I wouldn't rule him out. Dark horse here. How long we've got? Let's have a look then into the final corner. Sakovic, is he going to go for it? Walker covers the inside line off, but he's going to miss it surely. Up the inside goes Sakovic, but meanwhile Thomas Gibson's going to come through the final corner and win the final race. Second for Peter van Gool. Who's going to get third? Who's going to get fourth? It's photo finish time between Sakovic and Walker, and it was Sakovic by 2/1000ths of a second, and they crash go on the cool down lap. And rounding out the top 10, Gareth Hickling 7th, 8th Julian Janowski, 9th McFadden, and 10th is Gregory, because Blake Neck is dropping down the order. He finished in 16th place in the end. What happened to Blake Neck in that final lap of the race? Just trying to go back through the replays to have a look. Oh dear, he was side by side with oh, I shouldn't laugh, but he was battling with, who's out the inside? Richard Gore. Gore vaults, I think would be the correct word to use. Vaults the turn 4A curb, slams into the right rear of Blake Neck and sends him into the concrete wall on the opposite side of the circuit. And yeah, that is the reason for Blake Neck finishing in 16th place.
Yeah, that part of the circuit hasn't treated Blake well in the last 2 races. Wow, yeah, he's not going to be too happy with that incident, is he?
Oh, Conrad, what a brilliant final race. Pretty much action everywhere you looked inside the top 20.
Well, Hackison has been very useful tonight, being the top timer in race 1, and it looks like he was very close to doing the same in race 3. Climbing 15 places, Stuart McFadden and Benjamin Gregory, the only other 2 guys that gained more places than he did, but Hackison, of course, finishing in 6th place. So that, to go with his first place in race 2, was a good night for him.
What will these results have on the championship standings, I wonder? That'll be something to watch when we go to the next race meeting in a week's time. Thomas Gibson then takes the win. Second for Peter van Gool, third for Kip Stevens. I wonder if that was Gibson's first win in the Cup Series, actually. Sakovic finishing in 4th, 5th for Steve Walker, 6th Ben Hackison, 7th Gareth Hickling, 8th for Julian Janowski after starting in 22nd place. 25th to 9th for Stuart McFadden, despite getting taken off by Blake Neck earlier in the race. 10th for Ben Gregory, 11th for Richard Gore, 12th Alex Lauritsen, which I think is the highest of the Discovery cars, actually. Quite amazing, that stat. Rob Plumley finishing in 13th, Stephen Baxter 14th, Tristan Bodis finishing in 15th. Blake Neck was off twice, including the final lap, and finished in 16th place. Diogo Melrose 17th place, not being the best race meeting from him. David Crozier finishing in 18th, Adam Hadfield 19th, and 20th Stephen Minton. 21st for Adam Delmont, and in the cars one lap down or more, Stelin Chepelevsky 22nd, Paul Smith 23rd, 24th Cesare Rizzo, Forstein Helgeson finishing in 25th, 26th Adam McNally, 27th for Jason Greenfield, 2 laps down, and 28th place, 11 laps down, Nathan Davis. I think he's been involved in contacts and finished in last place. I think that's pretty much twice now. Right then, see if we've got any drivers who want to give an interview. Whilst we just give the drivers a few minutes to cool their tempers down a little bit, we'll have a look at where we're heading to next week in the Kia Cup, and we are heading to Road Atlanta.
Yeah.
What's on that, Conrad? Road Atlanta, you like that circuit?
I for some reason, it's a big favourite among iRacers. I absolutely despise this track. I can't stand it.
I think I agree. I think I agree with you. I don't know whether it's the S's section. For me, I just cannot work out the line to take around there to do a quick lap, and if I do, it's never the same on the following lap, and I always end up crashing or spinning or something. So we'll see how the drivers tackle that next week. It'll be on, of course, at 8 PM GMT on Apex Racing TV and iRacing Live. And yeah, thoughts on this race meeting, Conrad? Three brilliant races.
Yeah, I mean, we've learned through the years that however they term the series or however they name the series, the Kia never fails to deliver, especially when you throw in these big reverse grids as well.
Well, before looks like we're not going to get any interviews, I don't think. We'll run you through what's coming up on Apex Racing over the next week then, just as a final word before we go. Tomorrow it is, as always, Super Sunday. We've got the IMSA Sports Car Series at 4:45 GMT, and then we head to the Mazda MX-5 Cup, which is heading to Suzuka East. That'll be on 8 PM GMT, and the Club 73 Touring Car Championship heading to Brands Hatch That'll be at 8:30 GMT on Apex Racing TV. Then we head into the week Monday, second race meeting of the ASRC Sports Car Series. That is going to be underway at, I believe, 8 PM GMT. That's sort of a time that rings a bell. And then followed by that, we've got Conrad and Alex. They're off doing their thing in the Porsche Cup. New to our Apex Racing TV, the second race meeting of that. That'll be getting underway at... what time's that? I think it's
7:45.
7:45 GMT. You looking forward to that one, Conrad? A good first race meeting last week?
Yeah, it was around the Nordschleife, so yeah, difficult track, but we were treated to some guys that did brilliant lap times around there, and just seeing the commitment that they had to go through was amazing. Okayama is a very different track. We should see a little bit more overtaking, but really looking forward to doing that with Mr. Simpson.
Yeah, that'll be at 7:45 GMT, so you can have the choice of viewing on Apex Racing TV. And then it is the Extreme Motorsports Rick Mitek Sports Car Series heading to their fifth race meeting of the season. That is going to be underway at 2 AM GMT on Tuesday morning in the UK, 9 PM Eastern Time in America, which is Monday night. And of course, Tuesday night, Formula Renault, BSR Formula Renault. That is going to be heading to its next race meeting. That's at 8 PM GMT. And then Thursday, of course, BSRTC Pro Winter Series continues on its way towards the end of the season. And that is at 8 PM GMT. So, yeah, plenty for you to keep yourself occupied on Apex Racing TV over the next week. But what a race meeting it's been today. My thanks to Conrad for joining me in the commentary box for this one. And my thanks to Sam Kumo for being on the cameras over the last three races. And yeah, we've seen pretty entertaining races. Congratulations to Stanislav Shepelevsky for race 1. Race 2 heading, congratulations to Ben Hackerson. And for race 3, well done to Thomas Gibson. Great job by all those guys. And yeah, make sure you can join us for the next race meeting at Road Atlanta next week, 8 PM GMT. From all of us here at Apex Racing TV, good night to you all.